Good morning, it is day 6 on the PCT, another lovely, sunny, little bit windy day on the desert, so that wind will help keep things cool. We'll see how the day goes, still no cloud in sight, which is very nice. We'll see how spicy things get. Yeah, last night was pretty nice. I did put my tent in the middle of a bunch of bushes which were quite scratchy, so I think everyone who pitched their tent in the area has now got pretty scratched up legs, but it's all part of the fun. And yeah, so we set up camp, all sat around kind of lounging in the sun, in the shade, had a bit of yoga time, which was very nice to stretch out, and it made me quite jealous that I didn't have a little sit pads, roll mat type thing, so I might look at getting one of those so I can stretch out properly in the evenings, especially now that we can enjoy it in the desert. And yeah, we had dinner, watched the stars a little bit. It was a lovely sunset and sunrise. Oh, I missed that one. So yeah, just heading out now. It's about 7:30. It's quite an early start, and I'm one of the later starters, so everyone seemed to want to get out pretty early, but I'll probably catch up with a few people as we go on. But yeah, as always, looking forward to it. I will catch up with you in a little bit. Just a little thought for today. It's actually quite nice walking alone for a little bit for the first time. I mean, it's been great having this being a shared experience so far. I was even chatting to some people last night watching the sunset and the stars, just talking about how cool of an experience this is and getting to share it with other people. But there's also, I haven't really had a chance to walk alone for a little bit and just listen to my own music and go at my own pace, not worrying if I'm going too fast or too slow for others. Not that you should anyway, but those are the thoughts that are going through everyone's head, so it's pretty natural. But yeah, it's just nice, like having that little sense of reflection to soak it all in, because it is pretty special and cool and amazing with like great sweeping views like that. And they're only going to get better over the next few months, and I'm going to have plenty of time to soak everything in and reflect on it on my own time. But it's just nice to have that for the first time. That's pretty much it. See you in a bit. Hello again. So today has actually been pretty cool. Where to begin? So to start off with, there was a little bit of not being sure what the plan was, because there's an awkward water source about 10 miles away from the nearest town. So at one point we were going to do 7, another point we were going to do like 12.5, but it seemed like the general consensus within the group, although we all kind of split up and did kind of our own thing to start off with, was to do about 15 miles. So I started off a bit later than the others, as you saw, met up with Joe and Philip and Kit at the first water source. They headed off a little bit. I headed off a few minutes afterwards as well, and then met up with Yana a bit later on, about 10, a bit further on, and we were both like, yep, this is cool, we're going to go to 15 and that's going to be it. And then we got to 12.5, and this is all very exciting, by the way. Just you wait how it all ends. So yeah, we got to 12.5 at about noon, and we felt pretty much fine. He had a little bit of lunch break, carried on to 15, and met up with Philip and Kit again, and we were like, yep, this is okay. But it turns out the desert is actually quite hot. So we were sitting under kind of makeshift sun protection made from our ground sheets and things like that. And kind of considering cowboy camping, which initially seemed cool, but then there were a bunch of ants everywhere and it was on quite an angle and it was quite exposed, so we weren't too sure about it. And because it was only about 2 p.m. at this point, I was thinking, oh, there's kind of a whole day left. So the long and short of it is we ended up in Julian. We managed to go to a highway under a bridge where there was our first trail magic, which after walking 21 miles or so in total, which is I think the longest I've ever walked in one day, which is exciting. They were serving a whole bunch of food. They had vegetables, which was very exciting. I had spaghetti. I had like 2 plates. It was great. And then we managed to get a hitch, my first ever hitchhike into Julian, which was also very exciting. That was an experience in itself. So yeah, it's been a day of all kinds of new things. tomorrow we'll be going, well, we're in Julian, and the plan is to just get some admin done. So most importantly, there is a free pie offered to PCT hikers, so definitely going to take up that deal. There is, I need to mail or find food to resupply and mail another resupply ahead to Warner Springs, because there isn't anywhere to buy food in Warner Springs really, so that'll be fun. And yeah, it's just an exciting day ahead. So in Julian now, camped outside. There's some, basically on the porch of a pub kind of thing, the American Legion, which is quite cool. So there's a whole bunch of campers, a whole bunch of hikers just camped outside, ready for a day of admin tomorrow. So it's been a whirlwind of all kinds of new things, very exciting, and as always, looking forward to tomorrow.